Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Fighter jets and reconnaissance planes are fast-moving, agile, and capable of handling a lot of different military and civilian duties. However, due to the staggering rates at which they burn jet fuel, these planes are often equipped with additional external fuel tanks to increase their range of operation.
So it's always important for a pilot to have extra fuel so that they can fly farther versus stopping at every airport that they see to refuel.
These fuel tanks typically come in the form of drop tanks, which are affixed to the wings next to the plane's armaments. Some of these tanks can carry over 600 gallons of fuel, which is taken into the engines through special pumps in the wings.
The process of putting together an externally mounted fuel tank requires a technical order and a couple of subject matter experts that know what they're doing, know how to put the fuel tank together.
There are multiple reasons for the wing-based storage system. The most notable is the fact that jet aircraft, by their very design, do not have a lot of unused space. Indeed, before external drop tanks were invented, additional inner tanks were added to various parts of the plane in a desperate attempt to increase range. However, it was soon discovered that this design left planes vulnerable to fires and explosions from every minor electrical issue. Since drop tanks are capable of being jettisoned in midair whenever the craft enters a potentially dangerous situation, they quickly became the norm among militaries around the world. Fighter jets drop their tanks when entering combat for a number of reasons. The first is obvious. They are basically firebombs attached to the bottom of the wings. However, the weight and bulk of the tanks also drastically increase the moment of inertia, thereby reducing maneuverability and negatively impacting roll rates. They also increase the craft's radar signature, which can put pilots at risk from surface-to-air countermeasures.
One's coming right towards you.
Lastly, the added weight negatively impacts speed, which can mean life or death in an air combat scenario. While this does reduce the plane's offensive capabilities, it is necessary to add range to fuel-hungry fighters like the F-16, that burns about 8,000 pounds of fuel an hour during combat missions. Even still, F-16s will often go through a process known as hot pit refueling, in which they are refueled immediately after landing from a system of pumps on the runway. They keep their engines running during this process, which allows them to become airborne again in minutes. Drop tanks are primarily used by military craft, but commercial aircraft are just as likely to want to avoid costly refueling and landing stops during long-distance flights. Rather than use external fuel tanks, larger commercial craft have extra tank space integrated into the wings themselves. Whether they are military, commercial, or merely recreational in nature, all airport facilities need a ready supply of fuel in order to keep their many aircraft operational. Like any other type of fuel, this material is produced at a refinery and then processed at third-party terminals. It eventually makes its way to massive tanks, stored on the airport premises or just off-site, known as fuel farms. Most airports make use of refueling trucks, which move from plane to plane as required, while others utilize a unique hydrant system that pipes fuel to different parts of the facility. Due to a variety of logistical factors, airports, shipports, and manufacturing facilities are beginning to look for alternatives to traditional metal tanks. One of the most common modern options is the fuel bladder, or flexi bag. These are collapsible, flexible storage tanks that can hold fuel and other industrial liquids for both long and short periods of time. They range in capacity from just 100 gallons to 200,000 gallons or more, and can resist corrosion while ensuring that the liquids never come into contact with the air. Fuel bladders are becoming much more common in airfields located in harsh, dry, or frigid environments, where they provide increased mobility while reducing the likelihood of impact-related damage. Though they are susceptible to leakage, they are also designed so that any spilling liquid is easy to transport from one bladder to another. When empty, fuel bladders can be rolled up and stored securely without taking up much room. This makes them ideal for planes, ships, and military vehicles, which frequently need to maximize personnel and cargo space. Fuel bladders have also proved to be an excellent addition to the military's UNREP and CONREP measures, otherwise known as underway or connected replenishment. These processes involve the transfer of munitions, fuel, and other assets from one ship to another.
Underway replenishment is the primary method that we receive stores, food, fuel, or anything else that we may need while at sea. It's what allows us to sustain ourselves, to stay out to sea longer. Even though we are a nuclear ship, we still have to receive stores to feed our sailors and support that side of it.
Using large cables and a system of pulleys, a special replenishment can service up to 2 vessels at a time, using special hoses to transfer fuel from one set of tanks or bladders to another. In the event of rough seas, the entire bladder is often capable of being moved from ship to ship via helicopter. Since it is essential that these vessels remain underway for months at a time, militaries spare no expense to ensure they have everything they need to complete their mission. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.